Joining NBA Today, the aforementioned Kelsey Mitchell. Congrats on your congrats on your 34-point performance. What did you have working there in Game 1 for you?
I think it was just about having confidence, for one, leaning on my preparation, and then my teammates, our chemistry, everything we've been through this season, kind of put us in position to really be us. And I think
everyone thought Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark were locked in a silent rivalry, a simmering tension fueled by media narratives of jealousy and competition. But then Mitchell, the unsung hero who carried the Indiana Fever through years of brutal losing, finally spoke. And her words? They weren't just surprising, they shattered every single assumption. What she revealed isn't just about team chemistry, it's a hidden truth that rewrites everything you thought you knew about the WNBA's biggest story, blowing apart the drama and uncovering a loyalty nobody saw coming.
And then you bring in Caitlin, who changed the world, changed the dynamic of basketball. And as a friend and as a player, you better appreciate her because, certain doors have opened because she's come to the Fever, and you have to respect that. And I love the teammate and person in her because she's accepted it with so much grace and even welcomed us with open arms to, make this thing happen. So I think it just took a lot of big pieces to make, what it is now.
For months, the cameras have hounded every Fever player, waiting for any slip, any hint of discord around Caitlin Clark. It's become a league obsession. Every press conference, every sideline interview, a relentless hunt for the next juicy soundbite about the game's biggest star. But this time, it was different. This time, it was Kelsey Mitchell, the same Mitchell who endured years of humiliation, carrying a franchise that won a pathetic 5 games in an entire season. Imagine that, 5 wins. She survived the dark days, the endless losses, the league treating Indiana like a glorified scrimmage. So when she finally stepped up to the microphone, everyone knew this wouldn't be another bland, PR-approved quote. This was going to be real. This was going to be unfiltered. And what she said next, it was absolutely mind-blowing.
I'm pretty sure somebody took care of it for her. I love it because as much, people don't know this about Caitlin, but she has an unbelievable, funny sense of humor. And so I think the tweet was the tweet, but you just have to know CC to know that it's just nothing but love coming from that kid, and her energy and her effort to just kind of support our team is just her way of doing it.
But here's where it gets really crazy. Mitchell dropped a bombshell, admitting what the entire WNBA whispers but never says out loud. Caitlin Clark didn't just change the Fever, she changed basketball, period. Her exact words? Clark changed the world, changed the dynamic of basketball. That's not just locker room talk. That's one of your star veterans, a certified scorer, looking directly into the camera and validating Clark's seismic impact without an ounce of jealousy, no side-eye, no passive-aggressive jabs, just raw, undeniable respect. This isn't just about stats. This is about a veteran acknowledging that, without Clark, none of this unprecedented surge in attention and investment even happens.
You guys have made the playoffs the last 2. What's been the big turnaround? How have you viewed the way the team has grown organically?
Oh, man, I think a big shout out to the organization taking time to rebuild. I think our draft picks ended up coming big. Lexie Hall was a big draft pick, and then you get Caitlin, and then you get AB. And so you culminate that together with, my experience and having to, go through a couple things before they got there. I think it was just like a match made in heaven, really, because I was, still at a young age to really, vibe and get to know these players for who they were. And then you bring in Caitlin, who changed the world, changed the dynamic of basketball. And as a friend and as a player, you better appreciate her because, certain doors have opened because she's come to the Fever, and you have to respect that. And
Now, that doesn't mean Kelsey forgot her own value. She seamlessly wove in the undeniable fact that she's been grinding here, dealing with the painful rebuild and swallowing bitter losses long before Clark's arrival. And that's the hidden gem most people ignore. Without Mitchell's relentless scoring, without her consistency, Caitlin wouldn't even have the stage she's on. People forget Mitchell is one of the most underrated scorers in the entire league, the quiet backbone that kept this roster from completely imploding during its darkest years. She doesn't get the national hype, but she built the foundation. This is the part that will blow your mind.
God forbid Asia doesn't drop 40 for us. I thought it was really poor, really poor.
Kelsey Mitchell, what about the way she was playing today made it so difficult?
Well, one, she made every freaking shot, it seemed like. Long twos, short twos, threes, get the free throw line,
Think back. When Lexie Hall joined, the Fever were still a punchline. The record was laughable. Mitchell had to plaster on a fake smile, pretending 5 wins was progress. Then came Aliyah Boston. Then came Clark. Slowly, painstakingly, the foundation shifted. And Mitchell? She adapted. She didn't sulk. She didn't demand a trade. She embraced it. That's why her words carry such immense weight. When she declares Caitlin Clark changed the game, it's not just hype, it's a battle-hardened veteran acknowledging an undeniable reality. Mitchell has witnessed both versions of the fever, the embarrassment and the rebirth, and she's smart enough to know which version sells out arenas, lands unprecedented TV deals, and puts real money in everyone's pockets.
Now, you were an MVP finalist this year with our own Chiney Ogwumike even saying that you had the best season of any guard this year in the league. What has it been like to get that kind of recognition and get your flowers?
Oh, I appreciate it. I've been to a lot throughout the course of my career with Indiana Fever. It's been like my longest, ever. So it's for me, it's a humbling experience to kind of see myself make waves from where it started to where it is now. And just kind of respect the game, lean on the game as far as creating bonds and friendships. And now you get to see us do that now, a couple years later.
But here's where Kelsey's honesty gets even better. She called Caitlin a friend. Not just a teammate, not just a colleague, but a genuine friend. She went on to praise Clark for welcoming the team with open arms and handling the white-hot spotlight with incredible grace. This is crucial, because we've all seen superstars in other leagues become insufferable divas, making life miserable for their teammates. Clark did the opposite. She made sure everyone ate, and make no mistake, Mitchell is eating. Her profile has never been higher. She's dropping points, leading playoff pushes, and finally getting the national recognition that should have come years ago. The irony is staggering. Clark's arrival forced the league and media to finally pay attention to Indiana. Without Clark, Mitchell might still be putting up 25 a night in relative silence. With Clark, everyone sees it, and Mitchell knows it. That's why she respects it. Everything you think you know is about to change. Let's pivot to something Mitchell touched on that fans absolutely didn't expect. The infamous fine tweet. Remember when Caitlin Clark joked about her league fine? The online world lost its mind. Some screamed incitement, others decried it as classless. Meanwhile, the actual Fever players? They were laughing. Mitchell revealed they loved it because it showcased Clark's sharp sense of humor, a side the public rarely sees. That's the critical difference between teammates and outsiders. Outsiders dissect every word, hunting for outrage. Teammates see the actual personality behind the brand. Mitchell basically told everyone, relax, it's just Caitlin being funny. That's how you know the locker room is rock solid. If Clark had genuinely rubbed people the wrong way, that tweet would have been the spark for a full-blown drama. Instead, it was an inside joke, a moment of connection that completely debunks the tired drama narratives. This is just the beginning of this rabbit hole. And it leads directly to the bigger picture, the undeniable core four: Mitchell, Clark, Boston, and Hull. That's the untouchable group Indiana is building around, and Mitchell all but confirmed it's unbreakable. She even hinted she'd take a pay cut to keep it together. Think about that for a second. One of the league's most consistent scorers, willing to sacrifice millions just to keep this squad intact. That's not normal in professional sports. That's incredibly rare. Why? Because Mitchell knows exactly what's coming. She knows the Fever are sitting on a gold mine. This isn't just about playoff runs now. This is about legacy, about branding, about rewriting the entire hierarchy of the WNBA. For years, Indiana was the league's punchline. Now, they are the storyline. The Fever making the finals off the power of friendship might sound corny, but it's absolutely working. Mitchell believes in it. Clark fuels it. Boston anchors it. Hull grinds in it. Together, they've transformed Indiana from a laughingstock into a legitimate contender, and everyone in the league knows next year could be even scarier. Now let's talk about why Mitchell's comments hit fans so hard. She didn't just praise Clark. She framed her as someone who genuinely opened doors. Mitchell openly admitted that unprecedented opportunities, sponsorships, media attention, record-breaking fan turnout all came their way because of Clark's magnetic presence. That honesty is incredibly refreshing. Most players would dodge that brutal truth out of pride. Mitchell embraced it. But here's the flip side, and Mitchell subtly hinted at this too. Clark's individual success doesn't erase her teammates' vital importance. She made it crystal clear. Clark isn't dumb. She knows those first-team honors don't come without Mitchell creating space and hitting crucial shots. She knows playoff wins don't happen without Boston anchoring the paint. She knows Hull's relentless defense matters. This is a partnership, a true collective, not a solo act. And that's what makes this Fever team fundamentally different. The Aces? They're often seen as the Aja Wilson show. Take her out, and they struggle to maintain dominance. The Fever? Totally different story. What happens next defies all logic. Take Clark out, and Kelsey Mitchell drops 30. Take Mitchell out, and Boston goes beast mode on the boards and in the paint. Take Boston out, and Hull clamps down on defense, sparking transition. It's balance, it's depth. And it's the exact reason Indiana is terrifying teams who once thought they'd cruise to another title. And let's not skip over the subtle shade Mitchell threw. She didn't come right out swinging, but her choice of words, talking about rebuilding, draft picks, and going through things wasn't just filler. Those were stark reminders. She was here first. She suffered through the soul-crushing losing. She endured being ignored by the league and media. She carried the weight when no one else wanted to. That's a subtle but powerful way of saying, don't you dare forget my place in this story. And she's absolutely right. Without Mitchell, the Fever don't survive long enough to even draft Boston, let alone Clark. People might love the new shiny face of the franchise, but Mitchell is the one who kept the team from completely imploding. That's not bitterness, it's hard-won reality. She deserves her flowers just as much as anyone else on that roster. That's what makes this dynamic so compelling. You've got Clark, who changed the game globally, drawing record ratings and national headlines, and you've got Mitchell, who kept the lights on locally when the franchise was a legitimate laughingstock. Together, they are lethal. Separate, they'd both still be good, but not historic. That balance is exactly what Mitchell captured in her words, and it's why Fever fans absolutely adore her honesty. Social media picked up on it immediately. Clips of the interview spread like wildfire, and the reaction was overwhelmingly positive. Fans praised her for being classy, real, and refreshingly honest. No jealousy, no condescension, just pure, unadulterated truth. The Fever fan base especially ran with it because it slammed the door shut on the tired, desperate narrative that Mitchell and Clark can't coexist. Everyone wanted drama. What they got was unwavering respect. And if you think about it, Mitchell's approach is brilliantly strategic. By giving Clark her undeniable props while simultaneously highlighting her own irreplaceable role, she raised the collective value of the entire team. She made it clear that this isn't Caitlin Clark and the Fever. This is the Fever, with multiple stars who all matter equally. That's the kind of messaging that doesn't just build teams, it builds dynasties. Because let's face it, the Fever are aggressively trending toward dynasty territory. Nobody saw it coming this fast. A couple of years ago, they were the team you circled on the schedule for an easy win. Now teams circle them with genuine dread. The Fever don't just win, they expose weaknesses. They play selfish, physical, unrelenting basketball, and they embarrass anyone who isn't locked in for all 4 quarters. That's how they beat Atlanta. That's how they punched Las Vegas squarely in the mouth. And that's how they've shocked the entire league. Mitchell knows it, Clark knows it, Boston knows it, Hull knows it. That's why Mitchell talked about the core 4. You simply don't hear players casually saying they'll take pay cuts to keep a group together, unless they believe in something exponentially bigger than themselves. That's how you know this team is special. It's not just about the next game, it's about rewriting the story of an entire franchise. Let's also talk about the incredible growth. Mitchell has been through the absolute grind. She saw her early seasons utterly wasted. She dealt with teammates who weren't ready, coaches who couldn't figure it out, and losses piling up like junk mail that could have easily broken her. Instead, it sharpened her. By the time Clark arrived, Mitchell was ready to mesh with another star instead of clashing with one. That's maturity. And Clark, she's not naive either. Mitchell made it abundantly clear. Caitlin isn't dumb. She knows she doesn't reach first-team status without Mitchell creating space, hitting clutch shots, and taking defensive pressure off her. She knows playoff wins don't happen without Boston anchoring the paint. She knows Lexie Hull's suffocating defense is absolutely critical. Clark is smart enough to embrace that collective strength instead of fighting it. And that's why this team works. Contrast that with teams where stars famously butt heads. You've seen it before. Colossal egos clashing. Chemistry utterly ruined. Teams collapsing under their own immense hype. The Fever aren't doing that. Mitchell's interview proved it. She respects Clark. Clark respects her. And both of them respect Boston and Hull. That's balance. That's trust. That's why Indiana looks truly unstoppable when it matters most. Now let's circle back to that fine tweet moment, because it says so much about their unbreakable chemistry. Clark poked fun at her fine, outsiders freaked out, and Fever players laughed. Mitchell described Clark's humor as unbelievable. That tells you something most fans never see. Clark isn't just a competitor, she's a vital locker room presence. She keeps things light, she keeps people laughing, and she makes the grueling grind bearable. That's leadership in disguise. The public always sees the highlights, the points, the controversies. Mitchell sees the jokes, the smiles, and the little things that make Clark profoundly human. That's why she respects her. That's why she called her a friend. You simply can't fake that kind of deep connection. And then there's the bigger vision, the future that will blow your mind. Mitchell basically told the entire world, we are not done. Even if the Fever somehow fall short in this year's finals run, the story doesn't end there. It just sets up next year. Imagine Aliyah Boston another year stronger, a true force. Imagine Lexie Hull's defense getting even tighter, a suffocating nightmare for opponents. Imagine Caitlin Clark in her 3rd year with even more experience, more composure, and an even deeper bag of tricks. And imagine Kelsey Mitchell still dropping buckets, still holding it all together, the veteran anchor. That's not just scary, that's nightmare fuel for the rest of the league. The Fever know it too. Mitchell hinted they're almost certainly running it back, keeping the core intact, adding a crucial piece or two, and going again. That's how dynasties truly start. Not by chasing every free agent, not by blowing up the roster for one flashy name, but by doubling down on what's already demonstrably working. And right now, Indiana is working like a finely tuned machine. So when Mitchell talks about friendship, don't roll your eyes. This isn't corny, this is chemistry. This is the kind of unbreakable bond that makes a team exponentially greater than the sum of its parts. And honestly, that's precisely why the Fever are winning while others flop. They trust each other, they respect each other, they play for each other. The bottom line, Kelsey Mitchell's comments about Caitlin Clark weren't just nice quotes. They were an explosive declaration. A declaration that she sees Clark's impact, she embraces it, and she is absolutely all in on the Fever's historic future. She's not jealous, she's not bitter, and she is certainly not threatened. She is motivated. That's the kind of teammate you want if you're building something truly historic. And now, the question lingering over the entire WNBA is this: will the rest of the league finally catch on? Or will they keep underestimating Indiana, while the Fever keep stacking unprecedented wins? Because if Mitchell, Clark, Boston, and Hull stay together, the WNBA might just have a terrifying, unstoppable problem on its hands for the next decade. Kelsey Mitchell didn't just talk about Caitlin Clark. She revealed why the Fever are the most dangerous team in the WNBA. Respect, unbreakable chemistry, and zero jealousy. The real question is, do you think this Indiana core is truly unstoppable? Or will someone, somehow, break them apart? Let me know in the comments.